Hey guys, Marauder here. Welcome back to the Battlestations Pacific campaign series. Today we're going to be doing battle number 3, Battle Santa Cruz for the American campaign. So let's get this started.
The enemy's determination has not wavered.
Skip through all this.
Shortly after Cape Esperance, they carried out repeated nighttime bombardments
of
Henderson
Alaska
Field,
Cruiser.
destroying the aircraft stationed there.
P-51
This,
Mustang.
combined with the recent loss of USS
And we will play that on regular. Again, the Alaska Cruiser and the P-51 Mustang, I believe, were DLC for this game, so they are not available in the original game. However, if you are a fan of Battlestations Pacific, those two units are very powerful. The Alaska being a heavy cruiser, and the P-51 being a fighter, which was one of the best fighters of World War II. Here we are again at these long loading screens. Oh, there we go.
Right now, Hornet and Enterprise are the only two operational carriers we have in the Pacific. It's not a good situation to be in.
We've got an enemy carrier in sight. Subsector 298 to 314 degrees. Scout bombers taking off to check coordinates.
Alright guys, here we go. This is battle number 3. This is the first mission that is going to give you a little bit more free reign over your units. You're going to have a little bit more units in control. You're not just going to be limited to air or sea. You're going to have both air and sea units.
That's the Army's victory signal. So now, we shall annihilate the enemy.
Right now, we can't do anything right now besides launch fighters. So we're going to go ahead and launch 2 squadrons. That's the amount we can launch right now. This is just working. This is just like a little tutorial that they snuck in on this mission. Now we're controlling the Mustang. We just took off.
And the battleship South Dakota. We're your reinforcements. Expect our arrival in a few minutes.
Again, this is the P-51 Mustang, which is an amazing fighter.
Enemy strike aircraft incoming.
It was a fighter that was capable of traveling long distances with the B-17 bombers and providing fighter support, whereas the Wildcat fighters could only follow them about halfway to their distance, depending on how far it was, and then they had to turn back to refuel, and kind of left the B-17 bombers by themselves, defend for themselves, and that didn't really go well because they were just sitting ducks. Alright, so right now at the beginning of this mission, all we can control right now is these planes, really. You can go on the aircraft carrier, but all you can do is you can only launch planes from it. You can't move it or fire the weapons that are on the aircraft carrier. So we're just going to get in here. We're just going to protect the Enterprise really quick.
Enemy aircraft incoming. Blown them out of the
And managed to fly right into that plane without that plane exploding,
The
even
old
though I
lady's
already
got a
killed
new
it.
lease of life since she refitted back at Pearl.
The Bofors are very effective, sir. You can never have too much AA cover.
And again, guys, since Battlestations is an RTS, you do always want to be switching back and forth between the camera action and then the tactical map. You always want to be aware of your surroundings.
That's a kill. Blown them out of the
And if
sky,
anybody's
sir.
wondering, anybody's watching this video is wondering what the circle in front of the plane is that appears when I get close to it, that is where you actually want to shoot. You want to lead your target.
Enemy plane is
If
going
you play this on
down.
veteran
Enemy
difficulty,
fire is being directed
that
at
circle
us.
does not appear.
Intercept was successful. Bogies are down. Sir, we have an enemy carrier in sight. Sir, we have sighted an enemy vessel.
Again, we're still really only in control of these planes right now. Does, however, want us to sink this aircraft carrier. Maybe I should read and that'll help. We're supposed to land these planes. Again, just a little another tutorial. Since this is one of the early missions of the campaign, there's still plenty of things to learn in the game, as this game is rather massive in terms of the units and all the controls and everything that needs to be taken in order for you to fight effectively. So as these planes land, there's not really much to do. You can, however, land this plane manually if you would like. So we'll go ahead and land this one manually and see if we can actually land it successfully and not crash right here on the deck. There we go. So once we land these planes, we are going to probably launch torpedo bombers, whereas torpedo bombers are the most effective units against the aircraft carriers. Mainly because they are big, they are slow, they cannot maneuver very well, and torpedoes are going to do the most damage. Whereas if you're attacking a destroyer, you probably want to go with dive bombers, just because the destroyer is smaller and it's more maneuverable, and it'll be easier to get hits with the dive bomber compared to the torpedo bombers. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and we are going to launch the Avengers, which is the American torpedo bomber.
I've been considering the merits of anvil attacks, First Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. They say the torpedo bombers guarantee a hit with the anvil technique.
Kind of screwed up
They
here a
say a
little
lot
bit. I
of
didn't
things,
really want to land
You don't agree?
my fighter squadrons. I
You need a
thought
lot
the
of
game did want me
coordination
to
to
land
carry out a
it,
successful
just to
anvil
continue the
attack.
mission. But for right now, we're going to launch these torpedo
one on each
bombers,
side of the enemy,
and then we are going
dropping
to
at
launch
45 degrees off the bow at the same
one
time.
squadron of fighters
Hard
to
to
protect
do,
our
and harder to do
sea
under
units,
sustained AA fire.
and one squadron
I
of
sure would like to see it, though.
P-51 Mustang should be enough to deal with the any enemy air units.
We got him. Enemy squadron is down. Enemy aircraft incoming.
So I'm just going to send these guys over here. I'm just going to mass all the torpedo bombers together. That is always the best thing to do. If you send them in one squadron at a time, there's more likely for them to be picked off from the anti-aircraft guns, just because there's fewer targets for the anti-aircraft guns to have to deal with. So if you send them all in, so as in this case it would be 9 torpedo bombers at one time, the odds of you getting successful hits on it is pretty high. So once they get all massed over here, I am going to send them up. And we are going to go in front of the aircraft carrier and attack this way. Again, attacking ships from the front is always the most effective in terms of not being shot down. If you do go broadside on the ship, they are going to have all their anti-aircraft guns focusing fire on you, which is a bigger chance of your planes being destroyed in the assault. Or again, I'm probably going to change that plane a little bit, and we are going to attack from the rear, which is the same thing from attacking from the front. Less anti-aircraft guns. Always go where there's less guns. That's the best. And they do have a squadron of Zeros. You can tell in this game what the planes are, what class they are, is the little circle icon next to the 3 times AM60. You can tell that it has like a little machine gun symbol, whereas these right here have like a little torpedo symbol. And then this one, again, is this Kingfisher is another fighter, but more of a scout plane, but just has machine guns as its main weapon. I'm going to send these Mustangs up over here a little bit closer, just because when my Avengers do get closer, these Zeros will probably come down to try to engage. Alright, so right now the Mustangs, they do want to attack these Vals, which are the dive bombers, as you can see from their little icon there. I don't really want to attack these right now. I do want to focus on these Zeros.
Enemy taken out.
Just so they don't happen to come over, but it doesn't look like they are. It looks like they're going to deal with our
They're attacking
Mustangs.
with everything they have.
Alright, so I am going to go ahead, cancel his orders, and we are going to go ahead and send
Enemy
in.
aircraft incoming.
And we're going to see how successful this run is. As you can see, these Mustangs are just, they're wasting no time with these enemy planes. This fighter is just an amazing fighter.
Blowing them out of the sky, sir.
Alright, it's time to, once you get closer to your target, it's time to hit the water. Get low to the water so you can get prepared to drop this torpedo. As you can see, the flak is just going crazy from all these ships. The target is moving away from us, so we're going to want to lead it a little bit, not hit it right in the rear. So if I drop it right there, that should be good. We'll go in, you'll be able to see our torpedoes. Boom, boom, looks like all three hit them. Doing some major damage.
Alright, I got me another one.
We're going to drop it again.
Successful. Bogies are down.
And all torpedoes are going to hit the rear of this ship. Alright guys, so now that we've launched our torpedoes, we do unfortunately have to wait until that little yellow circle icon down there goes green again, and then we'll have another torpedo. That's one of the things I do not like about this. Whereas in Midway, the first game in the series, you actually had to re-land the planes to rearm them. Created more of a realistic simulator, in my opinion, and more fun, more tense. Whereas these, I just, pull them off to the battle, wait for the timer to, reset, and then you're ready to go again.
That's a kill. Sir, an enemy carrier has been destroyed.
Alright, I think that was the first part of the mission, I believe. Yep, checkpoint reached. So we just destroyed that carrier. Now it's time to actually take control of some ships. This is a battleship. I want to say this is going to be the South Dakota, but don't quote me on that. We'll find out here in a second.
Enemy squadron destroyed, sir. Enemy squadron destroyed, sir.
Alright, yes, this is the South
Enemy
Dakota. This is
cruisers
a massive
incoming.
ship.
Warship screen. This is Enterprise. Hold off those ships.
Alright, we just click in here. We're going to be taking on the Takio, which is a Japanese heavy cruiser. A fairly powerful ship, but it's really not going to have any chance against our battleship. Especially with our other ships here providing support.
They're attacking with everything they have.
Just in case any of you are wondering, the new objective is to seek and destroy the Japanese carrier Zuhiho. So once we take out this guy, we will proceed on
Get it, she's sinking fast.
to finding the carrier. Alright guys, now we're going to cycle through all of our units. As you can see, we've got quite a few
Sir, we
now.
have sighted an enemy vessel.
We've got this aircraft carrier, and he's got a couple destroyers in formation with
Taking
him.
fire.
3 Clemson class destroyers. I'm actually going to send this guy over here. Actually, I can't can't actually have control of where this aircraft carrier goes in this mission. You can only just control his weapons and launch planes from him. As we can see, we still got another heavy cruiser right here. Take him out really quick, and then we'll move on up the map to find these carriers.
Hornet's task force splitting to launch dual attack.
Acknowledged, Hornet. Good work.
Enemy fire is being directed at us.
If you guys are watching this video and you do like this is interesting you, if you're a PC gamer, there is a game out called World of Warships. It's made by the makers who made World of Tanks. I actually haven't played World of Warships because I'm not a PC gamer. It does look interesting though. It doesn't have the tactical depth that I've seen so far that Midway or Pacific does in terms of all the units, because you do only control one ship at a time in that.
We're coming under enemy fire.
But nonetheless, the ship-to-ship battles do look intense. And it'll be interesting to see if that game does eventually make its way to the Xbox, just like World of Tanks did.
What's your course, Vanguard? Direction corrected
We are
according
going to
to
continue
recon.
up here. We still have another heavy cruiser, and it looks like accompanied by 3 destroyers. So we're going to actually help our battleship out here really quick. We're going to send these Avengers right over here. Actually, we're just going to send them in right now, because it looks like they're already in range of the AA guns of these ships, and I don't want to waste my time. I just want to get right in there and try to do as much damage as possible. We're going to put these P-51s right over there. Try to halt those incoming fighters.
I'm going in.
See if I can get this thing off right before I die. Nope, not gonna happen.
We're taking fire. No!
Looks like we might have got a couple successful hits. I'm gonna launch this one. This should be another successful hit on this heavy cruiser. Right into the engine room. We can quickly launch planes.
Sir, we've lost contact with our squadron. Enemy air
I'm
forces
gonna launch
are
up
inbound.
those two more torpedo bombers.
Enemy aircraft incoming.
As you can see right there, we got some Kates coming in, which are the Japanese torpedo bombers.
Nail them, sir.
We've got Vals, dive bombers, Kates. We just have a big attack force coming in. I'm actually gonna send these torpedo bombers over just to try to do a little bit of damage. Because the Mustang's good, but the Mustangs aren't going to be that good to be able to take on that many fighters at one time.
Enemy plane is going down.
Enemy dive bombers inbound. Crew, get ready.
We nailed them, sir.
Alright, that's good, that's good. As you can see over here on the left-hand side of the map, this is another carrier fleet. We cannot control this fleet. And I do think in this mission, this carrier it is getting destroyed. The Hornet is getting destroyed. And then I believe that these ships do eventually come under our control.
Engine power is out. We're on fire. Multiple locations. Destroyers USS Morris and USS Russell are alongside.
Torpedo bombers are coming in for their attack run.
We're out of action. Long term.
As you can see, as they cross the bow of our ship, we don't really have any cannon guns that we can fire at
Could be
them.
all over us any minute.
Evacuate, Hornet.
As
We've
they
got no
come on our
choice but
port
to
side,
scout
as you can see, more of our flag guns open. You can just see they're just being lit up right now with the amount of flag coming up
do
all
as I
these
said.
ships.
Evacuate, Hornet.
But you do want to switch back to the carrier. Make sure that your repair is on water, even though they tend to be going towards this ship, it looks like. Looks like he dodged all of them. You do just want to make sure that water is on all your ships, because if it isn't on,
USS
you
Hornet has
will
been
die
evacuated, sir.
quickly.
Torpedo her.
Enemy squadron destroyed, sir. Enemy air forces are inbound.
another
Sir, we're under attack.
boat. We got another ships coming up. Alright. We're going to send these torpedo bombers up the top. Take back control of our South Dakota. And we're going to deal with these incoming ships. We're going to first focus on the heavy cruiser, because that is the ship that can do the most damage to us. whereas those destroyers really aren't going to be able to do much damage to us.
All right, I got me another one. Intercept was successful. Bogies are down. She's sinking. Enemy taken out.
Alright, he is finally in range of our second
Out of the
one, so
sky,
he should
sir.
go down fairly quickly.
Did it. She's
There he
sinking
was.
fast.
And now this guy's turned right into us, which is a mistake you really never want to do. But it's just going to allow me to unload everything just like that.
Enemy vessel is heading for the bottom.
Again, guys, that is a tip, especially if you're playing online against players. You never want to turn your ship into the ship that is firing at you. For a couple of reasons. One, looks like we're gonna collide into some ships here. One is it takes your guns down to, you know, maybe a couple of guns you can only fire, and two, they're just gonna aim at the front of your ship, and all their guns are just gonna directly nail you. All right, so we do have this. We're gonna sink the Hornet, because that seems to be our secondary objective here. I don't know how many torpedoes it's going to take to sink her. Launch 2 more into her, and then that should be enough to
Enemy
sink.
aircraft incoming.
Now we're going to have these
Hornet
guys
is sunk.
join formation.
How we had no choice.
Back up with those
and mark
guys.
my words, the Japanese will pay for this.
Here's our fighters. There's only one Mustang left, but we're just going to have them circle around over here and provide combat air patrol, otherwise known as CAP. And this right here, this fleet, not going to really put fighters around them to protect them, mainly because the fleet, it is dispensable. You can lose them. You can lose these ships over here. But the second thing is, all these ships have very good anti-aircraft, so the odds of the plane actually coming in here to drop off their payload is very low.
Nailed them. Enemy squadron destroyed.
Because the light cruisers have incredible.
An enemy battleship formation has been located, sir.
Alright, but as you can
We
see,
can't
right
let
up
those
here, we
dreadnoughts
do
get
have
anywhere
2
near us. Reverse our
battleships,
course.
Enemy ship in visual, sir.
which is not really what we want to be. Because all these ships right here are not going to be able to withstand 2 battleships. They might have a good shot against 1, but against 2 is not going to happen.
We got him.
You just want to play
Enemy
smart, and you want to
squadron
play
is
to your ship's strengths.
down. Sir, we have sighted an enemy vessel.
Looks like we've got valves coming up. Oh, they're just circling. Alright, so we've got zeros. Oh, there's the enemy carrier. We are actually going to just send these torpedo bombers in right now. Because they're honestly not going to be able to cruise much longer, because they do have valves coming up to engage us. Alright, so we are currently 1.9 miles away from that destroyer, 2.0 from that one. We're going to turn this whole thing back south. Oh, got to see what's going on with my torpedo bombers here.
The Americans have hit Zuiho. Stand by for status report.
That was a pretty successful run on that fleet right there. The carrier is almost at half health. Now the Juno is taking fire from the Congo. It's 1.4 miles away. Ooh, there's 3 battleships, not 2. Alright guys, so I'm actually going to turn my fleet. And start heading towards that carrier, because I really don't want to battle. Really don't want to have a battle with 3 battleships compared to my 1. Even though my battleship is more powerful than all 3 of them. Oh, never mind. I guess the one attack on the aircraft carrier was enough to take it out. Again, this is another weak point of Battlestations, I think, is the missions are a little bit too easy depending on how you play. If you wanted to elongate that mission and take out all the ships, you could have. I think they should have made it a little bit harder, just to beat those missions. I know it is only Battle 3, but only 6 torpedo bombers, and that aircraft carrier was sunk. Alright guys, we have unlocked a new unit, the Allen M. Sumner class.
The loss of Hornet was a serious blow.
Which is a destroyer.
We currently have only one
otherwise
operational
known as the
carrier
Fletcher
in the
class destroyer, I believe.
We were forced to retreat, but with 2
Or a
carriers
version
destroyed,
of the Fletcher class.
the Japanese had to give up their further
A
operations.
hidden objective. I think the
It's
hidden
a
objective
tactical
was to
victory
destroy
for
all 3 of
them,
those battleships,
but
so
in
we
the
obviously
long
didn't do that.
The strategic advantage is clearly with us.
Alright, so the next one's going to be the defense of Henderson Field. That is a complete combined fleet operation. I will be doing this mission in the next video. If you guys did like this video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like button. And I will see you guys later.